Hi, Mermaid Junkies. How are you? Oh, I missed you. I hope you had a great week. What are you guys doing lately? I love you so much. Just by the way, just thank you so much for all my new subscribers. I love you so much. Okay, this video is going to be entitled, Why Are You Sick? Okay, and sick, I mean like illness, and you have chronic headaches, you have back problems, you have, what I wanted to talk to you about is why we get sick. I don't know if you've ever heard of Louise Hay, from Hay House. I love her. One of her books called How to Heal Your Life is a beautiful, beautiful book on transformation. I highly suggest it. It really, really set me on the foot to learning about myself and understanding and how to heal through a lot of patterns and things that I had in my past, along my journey. And so I would really recommend that book. It's by Louise Hay, and it's called How to Heal Your Life. Well, anyway, in this particular book, she also has a book that is all the metaphysical reasons that we are ill. So I don't know if you've ever heard of metaphysical things, but basically what it is it's symptoms that we start to get in our own bodies when we have ignored particular things, like and this is kind of a deep video, so I know some people might not resonate with that, and I understand that, but I'm giving it to people that are actually very on their journey and wanting to be more in touch with their physical body and recognizing that everything is connected. It's interconnected. Your mind, body, spirit is connected. And so that's a lot of reason. That is the main reason that people begin to get sick. And the reason is because when you continually ignore your emotions and feelings and do not dive into your personal soul, trying to understand why you've done things or what kind of patterns you have and the reason that you do these things, if you continually over time, over and over and over again, continually push those things under the rug and don't address those things and don't address your emotions, and most things are so habitual. A belief is just a thought that you've thought over and over again. That's the only thing that a belief is. It can be changed, The only way a belief can be changed is to create a new belief, though. You can't ever change a belief that you already have initially. It just doesn't work that way. So what you have to do is recreate new beliefs. And so, like for instance, and I'll just give you an example just from my own personal journey of how that I recognize when something that needs to be addressed in my life, because sometimes things aren't actively have a high frequency within our thought processes, and we don't necessarily always recognize those things until our body starts to ache. Because basically what that is it's our body, our soul, our inner being telling us, you need to address this, Raquel, in order to move past it, because you haven't addressed it. So the body has to take on ailments so that it will get our attention. But so many times people don't do that. When they recognize that they have an ailment, they just go and pop a pill or go and get a CAT scan or go and get, a prescription. And it's like all you're doing is masking your ailments because you're not dealing with your emotions. And that's the only thing that it is. And so if you want to have a healthy, happy life, you have to start getting in there and addressing these emotions that you have ignored. And so, like, for one example, like I was saying, that metaphysical reasons for everything. And if you wanted a link to that book, I think she even has it on her, Louise Hay even has those metaphysical, like the ailment and then how to affirm and overcome that and what it's telling you about the particular ailment. So for instance, which I did used to in the past, I used to have two ailments that were really, really prominent, and I had them for an ongoing probably 6 years. until they got so bad to where I felt like, oh my gosh, what is going on with me? And one was my lower back, like my mid to lower back. And of course, I started doing yoga and stuff like that again, and I've been completely fine. And I've addressed the emotion that that went along with the particular ache, the illness, you know. And anyway, so I had really chronic lower back problems. And if you look in the book from Louise Hay, the metaphysical for that is that I was not addressing life-going, ongoing issues of feeling cared for and nurtured, which I thought was isn't that very interesting? Because, you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that nurturing is one of the biggest things that I've always wanted in my life, because I wasn't nurturing me and I was expecting other people to nurture me, and they weren't. And so anyway, so I had mid to lower back problems. Now there's a couple of other things that talk about that. It's if you're having lower to mid back problems, is that you have a feeling of you don't have support in your life, and it has a lot to do with financial instability. Like maybe you're stressed as hell because you need to make bills or whatever, and you don't feel like you have any moral support behind you. And so that's one of them. Okay, and then my other one, I mean, there's so many. I mean, if you have female problems, it tells you why you have female problems. And if you get sore throats, why it, you know. And now I'm not saying that this is every single time the reason for things. I get that. But for a majority of these metaphysical issues and ailments, I do believe in that. I do believe that it's all interconnected. So anyway, another one was my knee, my right knee and I've jogged since I was a teenager, but I got to the point to where I just couldn't even barely walk. Like, it hurt for me to open my leg up completely, and I was just in pain, like my knee just throbbed. And it means that I was afraid to progress. I was afraid of what my future held, and so I didn't feel like I could progress in life. And like, I don't know, it just kind of makes sense, like putting your right foot forward, you know, like I was not able to do that. And so I think that that's how that was interconnected. Now, I did do a lot of, not a lot, but I did some tapping, which is a beautiful, beautiful way of helping to heal metaphysical ailments as well. And if you would like, I could give you, you know, a link on that as well. And it's really helped me. But I think the main thing that why we have ailments and why you are sick is because you are not addressing emotions that you need to address. And so instead of addressing those things, you completely are diluting these emotions and feelings by masking them with stuff, masking them with drugs, masking them with medicine, masking them with playing the victim because you want attention. You know, I mean, that's the first way someone can get attention from other people, because most people are caretakers. Most people love people, you know, especially when someone's sick, because you kind of get that victimized feeling of, you know, oh, that poor person, you know, they're not feeling well. I mean, isn't that for the most part, that's where you go. And a lot of people will use that to their advantage. And I don't think, sometimes subconsciously they don't realize that they're doing it, but that's exactly what it is. When you're always focused on your illness, you're going to get more illness. It's like attracts like. So if you keep talking about your illness, keep focused on your illness, keep going to the doctor, keep doing this and that, you're going to continue to get even more and more sick. So it's all about healing yourself, loving yourself, and really trying to recognize where you are having these ailments at. And I hope this inspired you. I did not mean it to be unkind in any way. I'm all about opening up that vortex of trying to understand who we are and loving ourselves unconditionally and working through all of these things so that you can, you know, it's my map, for a Mermaid Junkie's map for how to create a life you love. And I want you to love your life. I want you to wake up blissed out of your freaking mind every day because you're so joyful. And just in what seems to some people to be minute little things, you know. I get up so freaking happy 99% of the time just as joyful as can be, because that's what our life is supposed to be about. We're supposed to be here because we want to be happy and to have joy. That is what our life is about, is to have joy. And so many people don't have joy, and it's like, joy is free. Joy is free. You know, we imprison ourselves and our souls by just our thoughts mostly. And so I just want to help you to navigate through this sense of feeling sick. I don't want you to be sick. I want you to be happy and healthy and joyful. And I hope this served you. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao.